In the heart of 19th-century Austin, Texas, before Jack the Ripper terrorized London, there was another killer, a shadow in the night who struck fear into the city's soul. This is the story of the Servant Girl Annihilator, a name whispered in fear, a killer who preyed on the vulnerable, and whose identity remains shrouded in mystery. The year was 1884. Austin, Texas was a small but rapidly growing city, filled with promise and opportunity. But beneath the progress lurked something sinister, something that stalked the night. By Christmas of 1885, 7 women, many of them African American servant girls, and 1 man, had been brutally murdered in their homes. The city would never be the same. The first known victim was Molly Smith, a young servant girl, murdered in December of 1884. Her body was found outside her employer's home, savagely attacked with an axe. Her skull had been crushed, and her body was brutally mutilated. But she would not be the last. Over the next year, the Annihilator claimed more lives, each murder more horrifying than the last. Clara Strand, Rebecca Ramey, and Eliza Shelley, all victims, all women who lived in quiet neighborhoods, never imagining the terror that would visit them in the dead of night. The killer slipped into homes as if he were a ghost, bypassing doors, shattering windows, and dragging his victims from their beds into the night. His attacks were precise, brutal, and seemingly motiveless. As the body count rose, so did the fear. Austin, a once peaceful town, was now paralyzed by terror. Doors were bolted shut, guns were kept within reach, and families stayed awake through the night, watching, waiting. The city's newspapers reported on the crimes relentlessly, dubbing the killer the Servant Girl Annihilator. Despite increased patrols, warnings, and vigilant neighbors, the Annihilator seemed to vanish after each murder, leaving no trace behind but the horror in his wake. His brutality knew no bounds, targeting women of all races, poor, servant girls, and even wealthy women. The killer escalated his attacks, as if his bloodlust could not be sated. In May 1885, 2 more victims fell. But then, the unthinkable happened. He struck on Christmas Eve. Susan Hancock, a prominent woman in the community, was found outside her home, brutally murdered. That same night, another woman, Eula Phillips, met a similar fate. The city was in a frenzy, 2 killings, 2 women, on the same night. Whoever the Annihilator was, he was becoming bolder and more dangerous. The Austin police were overwhelmed, unable to solve the mystery. They arrested various suspects, but none could be definitively linked to the crimes. Some believed the killer was a madman, while others whispered of a dark, supernatural force at play. How else could a man slip so silently through the night, killing without detection? Theories ranged from vengeful spirits to traveling salesmen to deranged soldiers. But the truth? No one ever knew. After the final killings, the Servant Girl Annihilator vanished as mysteriously as he had appeared, leaving behind only questions and haunted memories. To this day, the identity of the Servant Girl Annihilator remains unsolved, his name lost to history, but his legend still lingers in the dark corners of Austin. Was he caught, killed, or did he simply move on to another city, another set of victims? We may never know, but one thing is certain, his legacy of terror will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more chilling tales from the shadows.